There's been a lot of rumors in the wrestling world circulating lately again regarding Chris Jericho. Yes, the most reinventing man in all of televised wrestling is rumored and reported to potentially be in line for a return to WWE after years with AEW. Theories of everything from a Royal Rumble return, which he's done before, a Hall of Fame induction, and a multi-million-dollar deal to a full-blown retirement tour have all been doing the rounds on social media, but nothing is confirmed. While Jericho has certainly been an asset to All Elite Wrestling, helping to put them on the map and make them a real challenger brand in the world of professional wrestling, even becoming their first ever world champion, still, the place where most people discovered the name Chris Jericho was in WWE. That's when Y2J became Y2J. Working for WWE on and off between 1999 and 2018, the odd break here and there to write a book, do films, and tour with his rock band Fozzy. That being said, Jericho's WWE run wasn't without its setbacks, its highs, and its lows, and for this video, we're enlisting some help. This is Sportskeeda Wrestling, and this channel will never ever be the same again. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Tell us your favorite and least favorite things from Jericho's career, and sound off. Share this video with that Jericho fan you know. Let's start with the good. Yes, his debut and every other re-debut, return, and reintroduction after that. If there's one thing you can say about Jericho, it's that he knows how to make a debut and a return. He knows how to grab the moment when you haven't seen him in a long time. For the very first appearance we saw of him in WWF in Chicago on August 8th, 1999, it truly delivered with a triumphant walkout, a massive pop when his Tron popped up with his name on that screen, where he appeared on Monday Night Raw in his badass silver Raver shirt, interrupting one of the biggest names in the business at the time, The Rock, and going blow for blow with him on the microphone. This gave you a good idea of exactly who Chris Jericho was in the middle of the Monday Night Wars. In the bigger picture of all wrestling, it is still widely considered one of the most well-received introductions of an established name from outside WWE. Jericho always had an aura about him. His break the walls down entrance music, the coded graphics, the countdown, the clock, the pyro, everything here sets Y2J up for stardom.
Wrestlemania 33. During the build to WrestleMania 33, Chris Jericho found himself in a bitter feud with Kevin Owens after their friendship imploded. More on that later. Many suspected that the two would face off for Kevin Owens' WWE Universal Championship in a blow-off match in the main event of the show. Unfortunately, after a long reign and some great storytelling, Owens lost the Universal title to Goldberg before he even got to WrestleMania, but more on that later too. The two instead faced off in the second match of the night for the United States Championship, which fell a little bit flat due to its place on the card. Which was a shame really, considering that Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in the Bug Projector match, and an ultra short Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg Universal title match were the actual two world title bouts we got that night.
First ever Undisputed Championship. When you look back at some of the greatest dual champions in WWE history, you think of names like Randy Orton, maybe Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns. But who was the first man ever to unify the WWE Championship and the big gold belt? Yeah, that's right, Chris Jericho. It happened at Vengeance in December of 2001 when Jericho was booked to face both The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin on the same night. First defeating the Great One, the Brahma Bull, to claim the big gold belt that came over from WCW, and later defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF Championship to end the night with both top titles, becoming the first ever undisputed champion in WWE, a very significant factor in making Jericho a household name.
Worst. WrestleMania 18. Chris Jericho was indeed the first ever undisputed champion in the WWF, and he even got to walk into WrestleMania 18 holding both belts, in his home nation of Canada, in the main event, no less. So Chris Jericho himself probably doesn't have all that much of a problem with this, but over the years some fans have criticised WWE's choice to have this match follow the Rock vs Hogan match, which tore the house down with its crowd reaction just shortly before, with their argument being that the WWE title match should have gone on first, with The Rock vs Hogan being booked in the main event slot instead, mainly due to the fact that the undisputed WWF Championship match between Triple H and Chris Jericho fell completely flat due to the audience being exhausted after sitting through 3.5 hours of wrestling already, including one of the most memorable matches of all time, featuring two icons just moments before.
Another one of the highlights of Chris Jericho in WWE, yes, a highlight reel, if you will, yes, his record-breaking time with the Intercontinental Championship. Jericho has won a lot of titles throughout his illustrious wrestling career, if you've not worked that out by now. He's been a WWE champion, a World Heavyweight champion, a US champion, a WCW TV champion, a WCW Cruiserweight champion, an AEW World champion, a Ring of Honor World champion, an IWGP Intercontinental champion. But perhaps his most underrated accomplishment is the record-breaking number of reigns he's had with the working man's title in WWE, the IC Championship. Jericho has captured WWE's resident workhorse title a record 9 times over the years, making him the most prolific winner of the title. Both The Miz and Dolph Ziggler are tied at a close second, with 8 reigns each, but as of the time of this writing, no one seems to likely be able to break Chris Jericho's record anytime soon, at least not for the foreseeable future. Who knows, maybe Jericho could break his own record with an unprecedented 10th reign with the Intercontinental Championship, should he make a WWE return, though that might be counterproductive in this current era given the belt's reputation for being held by the workhorses and up-and-comers of the day.
Mickey Rourke. In 2008, Mickey Rourke made a film called The Wrestler, about a wrestler named Randy the Ram Robinson, who struggles to let the industry go as he ages. It's a startling and harrowing portrayal of some of wrestling's worst qualities, and we'd highly recommend watching it at least once if you're a fan. Anyway, after he made this film, plans were apparently made for Mickey Rourke to have an actual wrestling match with Chris Jericho at Wrestlemania 25. However, this didn't happen due to Mickey Rourke's Oscar nomination for his role in The Wrestler and agency concerns regarding his potential for a win. You know, because being involved with professional wrestling was so bad that no serious acting body at all could ever consider you a legitimate Oscar contender. So instead, Mickey Rourke confronted Chris Jericho after his match at WrestleMania 25, knocking him out with one punch in the process. This was after Jericho got on the mic and went on a tirade about how much tougher he was than Rourke in real life. In fairness though, Chris Jericho did get to wrestle a 3-on-1 handicap match against Rowdy Roddy Piper, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and a very sprightly Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who went on to have a very underrated match with Chris Jericho just a short time later that year. Chris Jericho did beat the three legends with relative ease, but found the massive stopping power of a Mickey Rourke punch just too much to deal with. A humbling experience, no doubt.
Another one of the highlights of Chris Jericho in WWE was his 2008 feud with Shawn Michaels. Yes, it's that time in the video where we talk about the late 2000s psychopath Chris Jericho, where he snapped out of his Y2J rock and roll David Lee Roth of wrestling persona and became a suit-wearing, stuck-up, angry, self-loathing Canadian heel lost in his own ego. Jericho's 2008 feud with the on-game, probably better than his second run, Shawn Michaels. Michaels had driven Jericho to this evil point in his dastardly cheating ways, leading to the latter to turn heel by ramming Michaels' face through a TV screen. Yeah, that's the real highlight reel. After that, the man formerly known as Y2J set out to make the Heartbreak Kid's life a living hell. This included a lot of attacks and insults being thrown at Shawn, and an accidental punch to Michaels' wife of all people. Oh man, that was brutal. Culminating in a stellar ladder match, maybe one of the best ladder matches in the history of WWE for the World Heavyweight Championship at No Mercy 2008. Also an honorable mention for their banger at WrestleMania 19 5 years earlier, when Jericho helped Michaels truly find his magic back as a top-level performer.
Did we leave any off this list? Well, you can let us know all that and more down in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling to see more videos just like this. I'd also like to thank Kevin for doing 50% of this video much better than I could ever hope to. You are truly doing God's work. This has been Sportskeeda Wrestling. I've been Liam. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.